If you're looking for more distance from your driver, well, this review might be right up your street. Everyone else is talking about forgiveness. Cobra is going for more distance. So here we have it, the Cobra Darkspeed, because apparently the only thing faster than light is dark. That's what they're going for anyway. I think this is an important year for Cobra drivers. Obviously they don't sponsor players like Bryson DeChambeau anymore, who is one of the longest drivers of the golf ball. And really, speed has been in their kind of DNA for the last few years. In one of these drivers' lineups this year, they're promising more club head speed than ever before, more ball speed, more distance. However, they're not neglecting forgiveness as well. There's 3 models in the lineup, and the first thing to mention is the looks. I mean, this is a very bold look from Cobra this year. Completely blacked out everything, albeit even from the head cover, you've got this shiny dark speed down the front. But apart from that, underneath the head covers, you've got 3 drivers. You've got the Max, which is the most forgiveness. You've got the X, which is kind of middle of the road. And you've got the LS, low spin, but also the fastest head shape model. And underneath, all the drivers again have that very similar look. They're all pretty much blacked out from the face to the crown to the sole. On the Max version, you've got these little flickers of red, but nothing much. On the X version, you've got a few little flicks of blue. And on the actual LS version, there's nothing, it's just blacked out everything. And the price for each model is £429. Now, the 3 models, how they are slightly different. You've got 2 weights in the Darkspeed, one at the back, one here in the heel. So you can put the weight all the way back for the most forgiveness, or the highest weight in the heel to give it most draw biased. You've then got the X, which has 2 weights in it. You've got a 12 gram weight and a 3 gram weight. Again, you can swap those around if you want it to go higher spin setting or lower spin model. Again, that really is more for your average golfer, the kind of X model this year. And then you've got the LS. It's interesting with this LS model this year. This is their kind of better player driver. If you rewind back 12 months ago, I said this in last year's Cobra review.
These two are so similar. Why did they not just take the Aerojet, which has already got a weight at the back, and put 2 similar sized weights in the front, the same size weight, sorry, in the front. Then you've got the option to put the weights at the front if you want low spin. If you want more forgiveness, put the heavy weight at the back. If you want it to be a little bit more draw biased, stick that weight in the heel, or fade biased, stick it in the toe. And with this idea of mine, there's 3 main advantages for you, the golfer.
What can I say? What can I say? I predicted the future. In fact, we even did a mock-up of what the driver would look like, and it would not far off this. I still feel like they only really needed 1 driver model. We'll see if that's the case this year with the Darkspeed. I've already taken these and done initial hitting, already taken them out on the golf course, so I'm going to give you all of that information coming next, but then we're going to hit it in the studio on GC Quad with Pro V1s to get some real data of the performance of these clubs.
All right, guys, giveaway time. I'm giving away a brand new Cobra Darkspeed Driver of your choice. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel. We're on a mission to hit 3 million subscribers this year. Be sure to like this video and leave a comment, and 1 lucky winner will be picked at random to win a brand new Cobra Darkspeed Driver. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Now, all 3 models do share technology stories. One being the extra large PowerShell hot face, effectively creating the fastest club face on the market, certainly on off-centered hits. That's across all 3 models. And all 3 models also feature an AI power bridge. This is a way of strengthening the driver so the face can become as springy as possible without breaking the limit, obviously. Now, the last big technology story this year is in this model, the LS model. This is the most aerodynamic head shape Cobra have ever made in recent drivers, and therefore should be the fastest club head speeds. Can't wait to test that claim later in this video, because I've not had this on a launch monitor yet. Can I break some records with the Cobra Darkspeed LS? Let's find out. Right, That's all the technology. Let's talk about initial hits first. So on a recent trip, I took all 3 drivers away with me and hit all 3 models on a driving range to kick things off. And I was really looking for looks, sound and feel. As I mentioned earlier, I like the look of these 3 drivers, I do. You get the most confidence behind the golf ball with the Max head. It's a huge footprint. It does look very, very forgiving. And the strikes and the sound, satisfying. Like really good, solid hits. And just on initial testing, was definitely high on forgiveness. The X model also really suits my eye. It's that little bit more of a squashed head shape compared to the Max, but not a lot. For me, I love the simplicity of the looks, certainly behind the golf ball. I'm a big fan personally of matte crowns. And again, testing it out in the sunshine when I was away recently, these just don't shine up at all. It's a much better look behind the golf ball, certainly in sunny conditions. Really liked initial hits with the X driver. And then the last one, the LS, definitely a different head shape. Like almost looks a bit more triangular from the front to the back. Almost the back edge kind of has a bit more of a squeeze to the back edge of it. Looks like a slightly smaller head shape, but isn't. Off-centered hits, I definitely didn't get as much forgiveness off the other 2 models, but it did feel fast. I don't have any evidence of that just yet. Might have been placebo effect, but it did feel fast. Out on the golf course, similar results. I loved hitting the X and the Max. For me, the Max is probably not one that I would massively put in the bag, albeit I had the weight at the back. Even then, it just felt like it had a little bit of draw bias. Albeit I've got these 3 drivers in exactly the same shaft and the same loft, the Max head definitely launched higher and went more up in the sky. The X, the middle of the range driver, was very, very good. This is one that I was starting to gravitate a little bit more towards as a performance for me. And then the LS, there was a bunker out on the golf course. And with the other 2 models, I was struggling to carry it over the bunker. The LS, certainly on the middle strikes, carried the bunker. Right, that's all the initial hits done. That's all the on-course testing done. Now it's time here in the hit studio to put these drivers to the test. I'm going to start off with the most forgiving model, the Max, then go into X, and then I'm going to finish off with the LS driver. Is it as long and as fast as I think it might just be? Let's find out. Okay, so starting with the Max model first. Now, all of the drivers I've got in exactly the same shaft. It's a Lynx shaft, a new shaft I've not used before actually. These are in extra stiff. 9 degrees loft is what I found best suited me in these heads. And I've got, for this particular model, the 12 gram weight in the back and the 3 gram weight in the heel. I personally don't need it to be any more draw biased than what it already is. And like I say, I felt like it was a little bit draw biased anyway. Behind the golf ball, as I mentioned, it is the most confidence in kind of boosting head shape. It kind of very much looks like a Ping G425 Max without the turbulators. Right, let's give this a hit. God, thought it was a little bit drawy. Just a little bit left of the line, but a nice hit. Right, let's get a bunch of data with this driver first. Okay, this is last shot with the Max. There's definitely a little bit of a bias to the left. I'm struggling to actually hit this dead straight or even not draw it too much. But again, that is really what this driver's for. You can even make that even more extreme by putting that 12 gram weight in the heel, which I might do in another video on the Hit channel coming soon. Kind of test the weights a little bit, but it definitely in this setting just has that little bit of a draw pull to it. That one was pretty straight though. I feel like I was trying to fight it not going left, you see. That wasn't a terrible hit. Right, I don't think the numbers are going to be amazing with that driver because again, it's not particularly suited for me. It's a bit more high spinning, but solid. Okay, next driver up is the X. Again, I've got it in 9 degrees of loft. You can actually go up by 1.5 degrees of loft and down by 1.5 as well. So this could go up to 10.5 degrees or 7.5 degrees. But sticking with 9. Now this time, I've got the 2 weights at the bottom, a 12 gram weight and a 3 gram weight. I've actually got the 12 gram weight at the front and the 3 gram weight at the back. If you swap those, the actual head becomes a little bit more forgiving. But let's see what the X model can do from a distance standpoint. I'm gonna do similar with the LS version as well. That should be the absolute flying machine. But this one really interests me, the X Driver. Really interests me indeed. I love the head shape. It's not stupidly oversized, but it's not kind of too almost small like the LS. It's a really beautiful head shape. I've always got fond memories of the old F9 Driver, but it's got that kind of head shape to it. It's really nice, right? Let's see what the Darkspeed X Driver can do. Well, a tiny bit up the right, but a solid hit. Yeah, nice. I think I can get more out of that though. Okay, performance on the X has been pretty solid so far. I've obviously got the weight forward, so I'm going for that bit more distance. I think a real easy hack, if I wanted to get a bit more forgiveness, would be to shift the weight in the back. I might do that again in another hit video down the line. It's a good performing driver, it really is. I'm excited to show the numbers. I just feel like maybe with the weight forward, it's not the most forgiving model. I'm hitting a few slightly more offline with this, but distance is very strong. Yeah, solid. Okay, and then the final of the 3, Darkspeed LS, the low spin, aerodynamic, fastest club head speed, hopefully fastest distance driver. It did actually make me laugh when I first kind of caught a glance of the image of these drivers, this one particularly with the 3 weights in after what I mentioned last year's review, but I know it's not as easy as just putting an extra weight in. You've got to move weight here, there and everywhere. So in this head model, you get a 12 gram weight and then 2 3 gram weights. If you were to put the 12 at the back, it's the most forgiving model in this head setting. If you have the 12 gram in the heel and the 3 gram in the toe and 3 gram at the back, it's neutral setting. It's quite a fade biased driver, this apparently. And if you have the 12 gram weight in the fade setting, obviously it's more fade biased. What I'm intrigued to know about with this new aerodynamic shaping, effectively the tail of this driver is more elevated away from the ground. There's no kind of friction or anything on the top of the crown. It's super smooth as it is underneath. If this can increase club head speed, they're not really putting a claim on a number, but let's see from the other drivers I've tested so far, the Max and the X, can I swing this driver faster? Will it make a difference? I'm going to try any different. I'm going to hit it as normal as I can, but will it swing faster? Same shaft, same length, same loft. Darkspeed LS. As again, behind the golf ball, it's definitely a slightly different head shape, more squashed in profile. Doesn't fill me with loads of confidence for forgiveness, but that's not what it's for distance. Okay, first hit. Now, I'm not gonna give too much away just yet. I'm typically wanting to swing about 110 miles per hour. At the moment, I'm probably just a little bit low with that. Mission for 2024 is to increase it as much as I can. But that first shot was encouraging. Very encouraging on the club head speed. Let's hit a batch more and see. I'm not saying direction was brilliant, but club head speed was very promising. Last shot in this batch, I've been impressed. That last shot was ridiculously straight. Just for fun, let's see what can happen if I really went for one. Let's just see if there's a bit of a difference in club head speed. Oh, That's massive. For me, go. Oh, 317 total. Whew. Right, let's dive into the data. Okay, so the numbers are in. Very interesting finding for the three different drivers. They've performed very differently to each other. Starting off with the Max driver that I started off with. Again, it's not going to be the one that suits me the most, but normally I want to be carrying a normal driver that suits me around 280 yards of carry distance, or near enough 160 miles per hour ball speed with about 2,200 spin. That's the optimum for me. The Max didn't quite fit in that category, but for who it's aimed for that golfer that wants a little bit more help, I think it's perfect. If you whack that big weight into the heel, if you want a bit more extra stopping it going right as well, because this driver definitely had a tendency of going left. 273 carry, 2,300, nearly 2,400 spin, 155 miles per hour ball speed. Not the perfect numbers for me, but as a driver, very forgiving, and one that higher handicappers, guys who need a bit more help, should definitely try. Moving into the X is the one probably I'm most kind of gravitating towards at the moment, but the LS is definitely one I might look at as well. With the X, it almost hit exactly the numbers I like to see. 280 yards of average carry distance, 2,100 spin, 157 ball speed. My club head speed is a little bit down at the moment. I'm swinging that 109 miles per hour on the nose, so it's a little bit slow. So if that raised up again, that ball speed would get back up to 160. With the X, certainly with the weight forward, I found it a little bit less controllable. I think if I was to go out on the golf course, I'd probably shift that weight into the back just to give me a little bit more forgiveness. Good driver though, very solid results. Again, it reminds me so much of when Cobra make a great driver. It honestly feels like an F9. It's just that F9 prices are no longer available. You've got to pay £429 for it now. And then the LS, the Darkspeed LS, with its aerodynamic shape and its different profile, impressive, like really impressive. Average carry distance, and this was average carry distance 285, so 5 yards longer than what I would normally want to see. Spin rate still in at 2,100, perfect. Ball speed closer to 160. And the main reason for that, did the club head speed increase? Yes. By a lot? No. But it did increase. It went up by 0.6 miles per hour. That's all right. It's not groundbreaking, don't get me wrong, but it's not a bad little jump in miles per hour gain in club head speed. What was very interesting with the LS is how straight I hit it. Again, I've got the weight forward in that neutral kind of low spin setting. It came out very, very straight. As a lineup this year, impressive. I really like the name. I love the looks. Feel is superb. LS definitely if you need a bit more speed. Max if you need a bit more forgiveness. X if you're in the middle of the road. A very strong lineup from Cobra this year. And really the only brand that's talking about distance as their main category. A lot of other brands are talking about forgiveness at the moment. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, lots more to come. And that was my full in-depth review of the brand new Cobra drivers.